that everything that people tell us is for our own good is not for our own good, it's for their own good. I'm going to see a dynamite movie this afternoon. I saw 3 Days of the Condor. The first 10 minutes, 8 people get wiped out in the first 8 minutes of the movie. If I don't want my daughter to see it, I suggest to her, you may not like it, but you go to see it. And if it really bugs you, you'll walk out. We don't need censorship to tell an adult world, don't see a porno flick. If I want to go and see a porno flick, I don't need the government, and I don't need the state police to tell me it's dirty. Because if sex is dirty, then what are we all the result of? We are all the result of the sex act, right? So how do we look at that as being dirty? If the very act that's committed to bring us in the world is dirty, then we're all dirty.
The Bible said it's dirty.
Well,
I'll go one step further.
NBC says it's dirty, or CBS, or
Well,
Channel 8, you know.
Take the language on the networks. You know, how many?
Hey, listen, you can finally say Helen Bassett on the air.
That's
now.
right, and damn, look at damn.
But I watched
Boston
Carson.
said
Listen,
damn.
I watched Carson's anniversary show the other night. The first 10 minutes was bleeped. Every other word. Now, this is a late night audience at 11:30 at night, right? And the first few words he spoke, bleeped.
Now, what would happen if they put on a woman came out on the Carson show naked? If you didn't want to watch that, you just turn it off. You got 6 or 7 other channels to go to.
You got 15 channels, man. I got 20 channels on my set.
Right. Cable.
And if I don't want my kid to see it, I can say, hey, listen, you want to look at that? It's cool with me. She has to be the judge. My daughter's now 21 years old, man, and she's heard from the time she came up from the hospital when she was an hour and a half old. She's heard every dirty word that a man could possibly say. She's heard it in anger, she's heard it in fun, she's heard it in serious conversation, and until at this age, she knows the words mean different. There's a different meaning in the expression and the way it's said. You know, that's the best fucking movie I ever saw. That means it's good. Or that dirty fuck him. That's another way of saying it. But it's a normal, everyday expression that's used by everybody, from the president up. Right? And, I mean, why kick a man when he's up? You know, so the whole idea of censorship is totally, you know, unreal to me.
What I don't understand is how people accept it and let it slide.
Have you ever been to Middle America?
Yeah.
Oh, we were talking about that this afternoon.
Well,
I
you
didn't
know
see
what it is, you know. See, how about when you go to a state like Texas?
Take
right?
a state like the New
That's
York.
a state, all right.
Let's take
Texas,
let's
right
take a
there.
state
It's
like
a state all
Texas.
the way.
I play
State
Houston
of
a lot,
mind.
okay? Now you play there, and everybody every night comes in the club and they get wasted. Hey, you know, it's like bottle. Bring me another bottle, and they'll fifth. Saturday night at midnight, all drinks must be off the table, right? Because Sunday, everybody runs to church to confess. But Monday, everybody's jumping on everybody's old lady and everybody's drinking everybody else's booze because they've already confessed to the bad week last week. Now we got to start again. Tell me about it. You know, I mean,
A couple of good tools.
New York's in financial trouble. We're sitting here in the richest city in the world,
Mhm.
who's paying billions of dollars into the federal government in taxes, and we've got to beg for money.
well, how
to
can you have
survive.
money in the city, man, when we just spent $30.4 billion on some new weapons that we're going to test? Doesn't that make sense? Let everybody starve as long as we have big weapons, which will be obsolete by the time they're invented. So, you know, what are we saying? Of course we know where the money goes, and we know the people who need the money are not getting it. What we have to do is say finally, hey, listen, everybody, give us all a chance. We don't need the government. We don't need Big Brother. This is not 1984. Give us a chance to make decisions. Help now, we'll pay it back, and then give us a chance to be straight.
But you're asking the people to give up their power.
No, let's give everybody power. Then nobody has to give it up. Let's give everybody the freedom to be and say, and we'll all be all right.
You have a different license of liberty now. You know, everybody running around doing every damn thing.
There was a blackout here about 10 years ago. The crime rate didn't go up. Nobody really got hurt. As a matter of fact, people came to everybody's aid because it was a not a universal thing, but it was a national thing at that time. Everybody needed help. So everybody helped. When the police went on strike, how many years ago in New York? The police went on strike?
Job action. Yeah.
Well, they went on strike for 3 or 4 days.
Right.
The crime rate didn't go up. As a matter of fact, people were a little more responsive to each other. So that also is a great fallacy, you know? The police are great, and we need them. but we don't need them to watch us. And if we all watch each other, we won't have any need to really be protected. We'll all be all right. But it's, when you read the paper, and more fear, and more fear, and more fear. Watch it. Watch this guy. The one thing I fear more than anything else are these black guys that form their own vigilante groups. They just got hip to it over in Argentina or someplace where they have the death squad, and they just found another 100-odd bodies that were done up for no reason. They had the police squad had their own group that went out and took care of justice. I'm afraid that's happening here, and I get scared to death because this is the best country in the world. You know, it's the most dynamite country in the world. But who is in there trying to mess it up? That's what I want to know. We got rid of the other fellow, you know, and then he was pardoned. I wish that all the criminals who commit really dastardly crimes, like going into a market and stealing some bread for a family, I wish that they could be as easily forgiven as Mr. Nixon was when he stole America. You know?
Guy gets busted for two joints of grass, spends 6 months in the slammer. Ehrlichman, Alderman, is playing golf.
But dig this, it's not just 6 months. New York State, now I understand, has the strongest anti-drug law, right? So the first fall for smoking 2 joints would be 15 years, right? But
Rocky got on the air and said, "Kiss your ass goodbye."
Oh, well, that's class. You know, that's our Mr. Rockefeller. But you go to Oregon.
Basically, that's what
Go to Oregon, and it is no more than a ticket fine if you're found with more than 1 or 2 joints on you. Alaska just legalized it. The next place to legalize it will be California, I think.
Rhode
I'm
Island?
surprised they weren't the
Rhode
first.
Island.
Rhode Island is shooting for it now.
Yeah.
I was at Newport the other week.
So, you know, so how do you say in the state of Nevada you go away 20 years? It's 20 years, and sale is life. As you get off the airport, as you get off the plane in Nevada, in Las Vegas, there's a big 24 sheet up where they show the shows. And it says marijuana, possession, 25 years, sale, life. But every day you can drive out in the desert and find somebody in the back of a car, and the murderer gets life, but he gets 7 years, and with good behavior he's out in 1 year to commit that same murder again. But the guy who smokes a joint goes away for 25 years because that's really bad. I mean, you know, you got to set your values straight. You got to find out
Why
what
do
you're
you
doing.
think we have that inequity? Why do you think they're that frightened?
I don't think they're that frightened, but I think everybody that decided to smoke a joint, well, I think would stay away from booze because booze is a drag, right? So you have the liquor lobby in there saying marijuana is the assassin of youth, causes rape, and pimples.
So let them do that.
Whatever.
So let them do
So you're
that.
saying, in essence, it's okay to go out and drink. They got liquor, they got ads, they got things on the highway. Stop at here, stop at Sal's and get 4 quarts of your favorite scotch at half price. And drivers go down the road and they're bombed out and they're drinking and they're killing people. But the idea of somebody sitting in their house and smoking a joint of grass is really the death. That's the bad thing. But I think if more people realize what booze does to your body, how many people die from cirrhosis and all kinds of kidney diseases from whiskey? But that's okay, because the government says it's okay to drink. But how come 30 years ago, when we had Prohibition, or 50 years ago, whenever we had Prohibition, everybody stopped drinking, but you could get all the booze you wanted by going underground. So then everybody said, hey, let's make it legal again. So it was bad when they said bad, and it became good when they decided to make it good. Tell me about that. I mean, who makes these rules up as to what's good and what's bad for everybody? I think every individual is entitled to take a chance on his own life. I'm 100% deadly set against somebody using some heavy drugs, shooting up, killing yourself. I think that's wrong. But I don't think we need the government to tell us it's wrong. In England, when you're using heavy drugs, they don't put you in jail. They send you to a hospital. That's human. Not humane, it's human.
Don't they do that with alcoholics too?
Well, no, they do, but that's for the heavy alcoholic. But I'm talking about the guy who just merely drives around the road and runs over and kills 4 people. You know, I say, well, he was drunk. The poor guy didn't know what he was doing. That's murder.
We've got about 2 minutes left to what we can do here now.
Okay.
We've got a Manhattan audience out here.
Hello, New York.
Hello there. Is there anything you'd like to tell specifically to a Manhattan audience?
Yes, stay hip. New York is the greatest city in the world, and keep it that way. I love it here. I was born and raised in Brooklyn. I live here.
We're in Brooklyn.
Manhattan Beach.
I grew up in Borough Park.
There you go.
I grew up
You know,
in
and I'll tell you, New Yorkers should be proud of New York because it is the most dynamite city, man. And I've traveled the world, and this is still where it's all happening, where it all started, where it's all going on. It's dynamite. I love it here.
If you had anything else to do again? Like
I would do
lead
it
a band. and run a
exactly
club.
the same. I don't look back at my life and say, geez, I wish I had done that differently. I don't wish I'd done anything except the way I did it, the way I've been doing it, the way I do it now, and the way I hope to continue. It's a good life. I've had a great life.
I want to thank you very much for
It's a pleasure.
this.
It's nice to be able to talk and not have a guy say, you can't say that, we're going to bleep it. You know, I wish all stations and all channels
Should happen.
had this kind of freedom to talk as human beings.
It will.
Someday. Stay with what you're doing, baby.
Thank you.
All right.
I hope you've all enjoyed tonight. I did. And remember, public access belongs to the people. Find out how you can get involved. See how you can come involved and become part of this situation. This is Ed from Allen saying, hope you have a good night.